All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the ASAP Sports Network. I am Ace from the West Coast, and you are watching another episode of Sportsminute. And tonight, I am joined by none other than J-Mac. How's it going tonight?
J-Mac has a bald spot.
Yeah. Please, let's not go there. It's bad enough. I'm going by J-Mac and bacon tonight just because, man, I've been craving bacon all day. I don't know what that's about. Maybe because I bought it when I went grocery shopping this morning, but.
And guess who's back? Back again.
Shady's
That's right.
back.
Vic is back.
Tell a friend.
Vic is back. Yeah. So Vic is officially back. And how are you doing tonight, Vic?
I am feeling much better tonight than I have been the past couple of weeks, so I'm glad to be back. Glad you guys covered for me while I was gone. Didn't miss me too much. It feels good to be back.
It's never the same without you, though.
It's never.
I'm the entertainment.
All right. So before we jump into our topics, we do have a little bit of housekeeping we need to do. So Nate, why don't you go ahead and show us that little bit of Suzanne's paparazzi jewelry?
Suzanne's paparazzi jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us, from all of us here at the ASAP Network.
Woo!
That one's gone. You got to cool yourself off there, Vic. You got it really going. Okay,
It's not a hot flash. It's J-Mac's voice right there, man. It's a sultry sound.
And then, of course, we have none other than that fantastic Misty Meadows.
Meadows.
Mr. Nate the Great there, go ahead and pull up that little bit of Misty Meadows, huh? Love it. And then, of course, last but not least, Vic, you get the pleasure tonight to tell me how you can win one of those awesome ASAP Network t-shirts.
You can win a t-shirt by just simply commenting on the show. Any show, doesn't matter. And the person with the most comments at the end of the month wins Viewer of the Month, which you get as swag and a grand prize of an ASAP t-shirt of any size from small to 2XL. I think we might go even bigger if we have to, because you're a winner.
Yeah, we can. It just costs a... Yeah. All right.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we'll swing it. Yeah.
All right, but
we're
now,
rolling in the dough.
But tell me if you can't come on and comment. Tell me how else you can get one of those awesome shirts.
Well, since you asked so politely, you can message any one of us on Facebook. You can reach us on Twitter, Instagram, and coming up soon, hopefully in the middle of next week, we're going to have our own website, theasapnetwork.com. On it, you can go on there and join us on Facebook. You can message anybody. You can read about us and all that grand stuff. And you can buy one for $14.99 plus shipping and handling.
I love it. From
sizes small to 2XL. And St. Patrick's Day is like 11 days away. This is black with green. So you can get one for St. Patrick's Day so you don't get pinched.
Here I go again. My. All right. So
my mom's calling me. I got a message.
So of course we have some awesome topics for you tonight. And the first topic that we have to talk about is a little bit of the NFL. And so this topic, I wanted to do this because this to me is kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure where Washington football team is exactly going with this. As we saw, Dwayne Haskins is no longer there. Tyler Heineke has now signed a 2-year deal with the Washington football team. And then we see, because Haskins is gone and Heineke is there on a 2-year deal, then we see that they cut the comeback player of the year and Alex Smith, which Alex Smith came out and said that, he understands that he kind of did put a little bit of wrinkle in their plans because Washington wasn't expecting him to come back. So
Dwayne Haskins did that himself enough. That guy sucked.
And they tried to trade for Mariota, but Vegas said no.
Yeah, so my question is this, and Vic, since you're back now, I'll go ahead and I'll start out with you. You tell me, what is your thoughts on the Washington football team cutting Alex Smith, and where do you think they're going to go from here?
I think it's a total Richard move. Hardcore. The dude is comeback player of the year. He can still play. You obviously saw that he could still play and win. Cutting him after what he went through for your team and what he did for you this last year, total Richard move. I don't like it. Like I said, they tried to trade for Mariota from Vegas, but Vegas said no. So I don't know what direction they're going to go. Hopefully they don't rely on just what one game Tyler Heineke or Heineken or Heineck Booty or whatever his name is gave them, because one game's not enough to judge how good someone's going to be. You got to, at least 3 or 4 games under your belt to get an idea of what they can give to your team as an impact and contribute. But yeah, total Richard move cutting him. I mean, Alex is a total gentleman. He totally gets it. He's not going to bad talk them or anything. But Washington needs to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, "What did we just do?" Because you're also called the Washington football team, which is just stupid.
Well,
which they've said it'll also be at least through next season. So
it will. And so my question for you also, Vic, on this is when you look at Alex Smith, do you think that Alex Smith retires, or do you think he gets picked up by another team?
I think he'll be a backup somewhere. Someone's going to want that veteran presence as a backup.
You don't think he starts, though?
No, I don't think he starts. There's no teams that he's going to start on. He might go to Pittsburgh as a backup to Ben. Maybe New Orleans. Who knows? Maybe Drew hasn't really committed to whether he's going to leave or not yet. So who knows? But he's not going to start. He's going to be a backup somewhere. He's going to be a great veteran backup presence for somebody.
All right, so J-Mac, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this. Alex Smith, Rookie of the Year. Then Washington's like, you know what? We understand that, but we're going to cut you because we have to look at the future. But right now, when you look at their roster, what is their future?
I guess it's Taylor Heineke, which, I mean, the guy, let's face it, the guy played out of his mind, in the playoff game. Stayed right in the game against a great defense and against Tom Brady, but it's just I don't know how you can put all your eggs in one basket on this guy. Again, it's one game, and Alex Smith is the best comeback story in the history of sports, I think. And so I don't know. It's tough to know where they're going to go from here. Maybe build defense, maybe draft. I mean, but you're in that tough spot. You're 20th overall in the draft, and you're going to try to hope a quarterback falls to you. I don't know. It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot to be in for sure.
They could go out and potentially trade for a veteran. They could, and just think there are a few veterans who are free agents. You have Ryan Fitzpatrick that's out there. He wants to come back and play. Washington could sign him as that veteran backup, but I don't necessarily like this move of cutting Alex Smith, because I understand that Washington at this point in time is saying how they want to move on and they want to look at the future. I get that, but the thing is you need that veteran quarterback in your locker room. You need that veteran presence there. that if you decide to go out and draft a quarterback, you have that veteran in there that can kind of show him the ropes. And and it's proven in the past that when you have that veteran presence, it really, really helps. It really, really helps your younger talent. You can look at Brady with Bledsoe. You can look at Rodgers with Favre. You can look at there's just so many different things you can look at in that aspect that been like, wow, he really learned. Young behind Montana. There's so many different things that it's like, wow, these guys really, really learned behind veteran quarterbacks. And I truly feel like that's something that you need. Now, Nate is coming out saying that he can see Alex Smith as a gadget player. But Alex Smith can't be a gadget player anymore. He can't run that well anymore. He can't be that gadget player.
That was a strong Sharpie, by the way. That's what the whole face is.
Okay, I was wondering. I'm like, what's going on over there,
gnarly.
Because I had no idea what the heck was going on.
Not
a gadget player. I mean, I could see him being a, if he goes to Carolina, I could see him being that change of pace quarterback. You're playing really well. He comes in kind of in the middle of the game, not sure if you're going to run, if you're going to pass, or, he comes in on specific passing plays. They have playbook designed just for him, a few plays game. I don't know, maybe, but a gadget player? No, not anymore.
Yeah, he's not a scrambler anymore. He's in the pocket guy.
Well, he's going to have to. I mean, you got to think he lost a lot of leg strength when he had those multiple operations. I think he can come in and help a team win for sure. He did it last year. He did it last year in Washington. Yeah, his numbers weren't great, but he still led them to
Washington's
the playoffs.
Not great. So, I mean, for Washington, his numbers were pretty good.
But it was kind of a sham in a way. It sucked that you did not get to see Alex Smith play in a playoff game.
Yeah.
That sucked because you're like, he got him that far, and then he didn't actually get to come in, and he actually did not get to play in that game. Very, very disappointing.
Yeah.
So,
nice
J-Mac,
yeah.
My question for you that I just asked Vic is, do you think Alex Smith actually catches on to another team? Or do you think this is it for him?
No, there's 32 teams, and not all 32 teams are far from being set at backup. So, I mean, you look at a team like Detroit. Who's the backup to Jared Goff? Right now, I think David Blau.
David Blau. It's David Blau.
Are you going to take David Blau? Or are you going to take Alex Smith? I mean, think about that for a minute. You got a veteran guy like you're saying. Maybe what Jared Goff needs is to get a veteran guy behind him let's face it, his backup in LA was Blake Bortles at one point, and then I don't remember the guy's name that started at the end of the season.
John Wolford.
Yeah, Wolford. Those were his two backups in LA. I mean, who's he going to learn from there? So maybe if you sign a guy like Alex Smith who can do something for him, so he can go to a team like there. I mean, there's plenty of teams that don't have a solid backup plan, so he'll catch on somewhere. I mean, the Jets, they got Flacco, but, is he really the veteran leader that – is he really the veteran leader? I mean, he could go on and help Darnold be a better quarterback. You got the Giants with why can't I think of Daniel Jones?
Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes. I mean, he could go on and help Daniel Jones. I mean, there's so many teams out there that could use a veteran leader like that in their locker room and in their quarterback room.
You even have Jacksonville because Jacksonville's that number one overall pick. They're going to probably draft Lawrence, but they also need that veteran quarterback.
Think about that for a minute. Think about it. That brought up a good point. I hadn't even thought of that situation. But if you think about that, think about them drafting Trevor Lawrence and then signing Alex Smith, the former number one overall pick, who had to go through all of the trials and tribulation of being the number one pick and not performing at first in San Francisco and then catching on in Kansas City and doing better and then so on. So he could be that huge veteran leader for a guy like Trevor Lawrence and be like, look, just take a little bit of time to, and have and then you got a solid backup if something should happen.
Yeah, because when you look at Jacksonville and you look at their veteran presence or whatever at quarterback that you would like to say, their veterans right now would be Mike Glennon and Jake Luton. And are those going to be two guys that Trevor Lawrence could potentially come in and learn from? No,
Right.
I don't
He
even
can
think
learn
so.
bad things from them, how to throw interceptions. He can learn
Exactly. And now we know last year Alex Smith struggled a little bit with turnovers, but years prior, that was something that Alex Smith also did not do. He did not turn the ball over. He did not throw a lot of interceptions.
Well, and look at the talent he had last year. I mean, you had a pretty good running game, but who was your top receiver there last year? McLaren?
Yeah.
Terry McLaren, and you don't really have anybody. I'm not saying Jacksonville's got the greatest wide receivers, but even if he gets a chance to start, you got a DJ Chark who's a solid receiver, and you have the other guy. Why is his name slipping away from me right now?
Are you talking? So they have Chark and yeah, the other guy's name is escaping my mind right now, but and Cole. It's Keelan Cole.
Keelan Cole. I mean, Keelan Cole. Neither one of them, I mean, they're going to be number twos on any other team that they play on, but that's your 1 and 2. They're solid guys. They're solid guys who can catch the ball. And so that definitely would be better for him. So.
All right. So I think we all agree that Alex Smith is going to end up signing somewhere. It's just a matter of where he's going to sign, and we're all in agreement that we have no idea where Washington is going with this right now. That they're basically putting all hands on deck with Tyler Heineke. That's pretty much what they're doing. We're all in agreement with that one too.
And that's not a good idea.
No. So our next topic, we actually stick to the NFL side of things again. So when you look at the different leagues that have been around, you have the XFL, the AAF, this fan controlled football league.
Garbage.
We used to have the United Football League. They've tried many different leagues that just haven't panned out. And so, J-Mac, I'll start with you on this one. Why do you think nobody's been able to put together a league yet that has been able to keep up with the NFL and actually compete with the NFL?
Well, there actually was one league in history that kept up with the NFL for 3 seasons, and that was the USFL. And what happened there is they decided to compete head-to-head against them on a fall schedule. Look, the NFL has the fall and winter. You're never going to get that market. You're never going to get a share of it. No one's ever going to watch you because they're used to the NFL. But if a league can come out and get the summer, and I'm telling you, the XFL, when it came back, they made some noise. I mean, people say what they want, but I mean, there was one weekend they said they had 11.4 million viewers that weekend. I mean, that's some good numbers for TV. And so they were making, because it gives people football all year long. And unfortunately, COVID killed that league. That's really what happened there. But I think the XFL, because they changed, and some of them come out with these wacky rules like we're not gonna have interference.
We're gonna draft every week.
We're gonna draft every week. We're gonna put the ball in a stool and fight 1-on-1 for an extra point. I mean, some of these rules are ridiculous that they have, and so that's why they just. You have the NFL model, and the problem is that they want to be a professional league, which there's no problem with. But if you did something like minor league baseball did with Major League Baseball and the G League did with the NBA, don't make yourself and say we're as good as the NFL. Say we know we're not quite the talent level of the NFL, but we're giving you something you don't have. We're giving you football in the summertime. We're going to work out a deal to be a developmental league for the NFL. Think about NFL Europe. It was popular while it was out. I mean, people still watched it just because it was football in the summer, right?
Yeah.
And so if you came out and said, the NFL, the XFL, whatever, they came out and said, look, we know this isn't going to be the same product, but it gives you something in the summertime to watch, and then you could potentially see some of these guys in the NFL on an NFL team in the fall, give these guys something to work for. and make it where each teams are affiliated with another team, kind of like Major League Baseball and the G League did, you would get it. But that's the reason why no one's ever made it, is because they try to come out and say, we're on the level with the NFL, we're a professional league, and it's just not true. Like, NFL is premier. It's just premier, and it's always going to be. But you got to come out and have a different model.
But I will say, though, that if it was not for COVID, I truly feel like the XFL might have had a shot at making it. I really think that they might have had a great shot at making it.
They would have. And the reason that the XFL, what they did, there's things that they did phenomenally right with that league this time. Mm-hmm. The first time it was awful. We won't go into the first time, but this time they came out, they did it right. They planned it out over 2 years before they ever played a game. They had every facet of the game taken care of. And the couple of the biggest things that they did is that they had the betting line scores on the bottom of the game throughout the whole thing and how they changed. That was brilliant because a lot of people bet on sports. And if you could see it all right there on the bottom of the – that's brilliant. That was brilliant that they did. And the other thing that they should do when they come back this time that they tried last time – hit markets where there's not an NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to give those people, AKA Oregon. You put a team in Portland for the XFL. Look, you know how many people are going to start tuning in and watching those games? Because now they have a rooting interest. You're going to sell merchandise. You're going to do all kinds of stuff. You're going to get people to go to those games. You're going to sell season tickets. Like, it's going to happen. And that's what you need to do. And so the XFL was on the right track. There is no doubt. And that's why. And they had some NFL talent there as well. Guys that didn't quite make it back to the NFL. Some guys that got on NFL rosters after it was over. So XFL comes the closest, no doubt.
Yeah, and I think this time, because we all know that Vince ended up selling the XFL the second time, and he sold it to The Rock this time. Dwayne Johnson, I should say, actually.
I mean, he's the primary owner, but there was a whole investment group,
But he's already talked about how he wants it to succeed, and I understand how you're talking about these the areas where they should look for teams. But when he bought the XFL, he also bought all the teams that came with it. Yep. So he bought all those teams. So obviously, those are going to be teams still. Now they have 8 teams currently. Maybe even after the 8 teams, maybe once they get it established, they can go out and have some more expansion teams and reach into those other places where they don't have teams.
Well,
like Mexico and Oregon. Yeah,
right. You look at a few of them. I mean, I don't remember all the names. I'm trying to remember the most, but I know that you had. The San Diego Fleet was the one. I there's a few I can remember. That one I remember, and the reason they played
Dallas Renegades,
right? But the reason why think about it, San Diego just lost their NFL team to LA, and so when you come back out and you're like, oh, don't worry, San Diego, we got you. Now you got a professional team to root for, even if it's not during the NFL season.
Yeah,
come back in. St. Louis was another one. The St. Louis Battlehawks, like they gave St. Louis something to.
And I'll tell you what, when the St. Louis Battlehawks had home games, my goodness, they were selling out. Like, they had so many fans in that stadium. They were selling like 23,000 tickets a game. People were there to watch because they were happy that football was back in St. Louis. But when you look at their teams, they had Dallas Renegades, they had Tampa Bay Vipers, they had
all their teams are in markets where there's professional teams.
Houston Roughnecks, they had LA, and there's a few of them, Seattle Dragons. So there's like a few other teams that were kind of escaping me, but they were on the right track. They were definitely on the right track. So, Vic, we haven't heard from you on this, so go ahead and tell me your take on this.
Well, I mean, like you said, all 8 of their teams are in markets where there's already professional football. Seattle, DC, Los Angeles, Houston, St. Louis. There's already professional teams there in the NFL. I agree with J-Mac. They need to search for teams like in Oregon or Arizona, not near or not Vegas, New Mexico. I mean, Oklahoma. That's a big football state. Oklahoma, Alabama. Put we had to put an XFL team there. You're gonna get the college market when college football is not playing because those guys are football fanatics. And now with The Rock behind it, Dwayne Johnson, I mean, it's going to have a whole new look. I think he's going to do everything right. Everything he seems to touch is gold right about now.
Right.
So, I mean, he makes, horrible movies and we still watch him and pay millions of dollars to do it. So, but yeah, they need to go to markets where there's not football currently, like Oklahoma and Alabama. Those are the two places that they should hit because they got a huge college fan base. And you'll get people coming right out of college. Who's to say maybe a couple locals don't play on the professional team? That draws in more of a crowd, and it's just going to help build your brand, build your dynasty of XFL teams.
Well, Vic, let me ask you, what would you think if they wanted to go to like Toronto or Montreal, like in Canada, where you have the CFL, but if they want to make the jump to to American football, you think that'd work out or not?
I don't think it'd work out in Canada. Canada's really, really set on their CFL. They love it. They love what they got. They love the Grey Cup. I mean, a lot of college players go to Canada to play. One of my favorites, Vernon Adams Jr., by the way, former Duck. I love him. Jeremiah Massola, former Duck, in case you didn't know. But I think Canada is not the market at the moment because basically, because of COVID, is a huge factor right now traveling across the border. But I think the CFL is pretty much set in what it's got up there, and anything coming in would just be viewed as like a gimmick to try and pull them away from it. And I don't think The Rock's going to be that dumb about it. But I can see him, maybe New Jersey. Have a team in New Jersey or Maine. There we go. Travel all the way to Maine. Get some lobster up in Maine. But yeah, Canada wouldn't make sense to me because the CFL is so gripping and powerful in that right now with them. But yeah, that's a good idea though. I mean, but I don't think it's a good idea.
But do you foresee another football league actually being able to make it and compete with the NFL?
Not compete, but the XFL is going to come really close with The Rock pushing behind it. I mean, he's, like I said, he's a driving force, and people know him. People are going to watch it because of him. I'm going to watch it because The Rock owns it. I'm going to watch it. I'm not crazy about it. But and also, if it's in the summer, I like football. I mean, I'll put football on the TV and just go with it. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I always thought that they could have, because you can't consider college like the minor leagues of the NFL. You can't really do that. No. But I always thought that if they had a league for the NFL like they do with MLB,
like a stepping stone to the NFL, for players that can't quite get there,
or even NBA with the G League. If NFL had something like that, to where, let's say, after the regular NFL season's over, they come out and say, okay, for all of our third and fourth stringers who did not get a chance to play, this is another league to where we can bring you in, and now you're going to show the world what you guys have, and maybe you guys can improve and actually come out and compete for a starting job next year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you have that cornerback in the college game that just doesn't have enough yet, but he's a senior, so he has to either poop or get off the pot. But now with the XFL, he'll have that second level to where he can improve himself and prove that, hey, I belong in the NFL. Take a look at me. Look what I can do here. So it'd be really awesome if that was the format that it eventually came out to, where it's kind of just like a minor league football team.
And that's exactly what I'm saying, because think about it. Like we always talk about the speed of the game and how the NFL is so much faster than the college game.
Yeah.
It is so much faster. You got to be faster. You got to think faster. You got to react faster. Mm-hmm. So if you had that stepping stone in the middle for a quarterback like think of someone who should have been big but failed, and there's a ton of them.
Ryan Leaf, Tim
right. I mean,
Couch.
you can go to any of them. But if they had one, maybe 2 more years where they're like, all right, I'm out of college, not quite ready for the NFL, but then they go into this league and say you do, the MVP and the Rookie of the Year and all this stuff in a minor league, you're like, oh wait. And then wouldn't it be interesting in the draft because now these players are all available to bring up to the big leagues, as you will, like the NFL.
Would they be in the draft or free agents?
Right. So, that would change that whole thing too. Think about that for a minute. And so, again, they could make this work. And I think that putting off this season, because they're not going to play this year. They're not going to play in 2021. They've said that. They won't play till at least 2022. The Rock has come out and made that clear. But having the whole year to think about it and set it all up,
yeah,
I'm telling you,
I'm excited.
They could make this thing huge.
So let me ask you a question, and I think this is actually really, really funny. Do you realize that when people always talk about Dwayne Johnson, right? Everyone's like, The Rock, he came out. The Rock, he said that The Rock, and everyone's like, everybody knows his name's Dwayne Johnson, but like everybody out there still continues to say The Rock because that's what everybody knows him as is The Rock. So everyone's like, The Rock says.
I still say Stone Cold Steve Austin, so I don't know.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's just one of the things I don't think we'll ever get over it. But I'm with you guys. I think that the XFL will be able to compete. They just have to do it at the right time. They cannot rush this by trying to come out in the middle of COVID. So it kills the league. That's not something they can do. And so they need to wait for that perfect time to where they can start the league back up. 2022 might be – right now that might be their best option.
Totally.
We just have to kind of see where all these cases are going to be at that point. I don't know. But Rock, if you're listening out there, bring a team to Oregon, please.
Yes, we will go. We will travel.
Absolutely.
We and contact us first because – ASAP will be the first one to tell you that we will live commentary your game. And I guarantee you we will have a cheaper package for you than ESPN or any of the other networks will.
100%. I even sat through the whole Tooth Fairy movie. So, come on. You owe me. After that movie, you owe me.
All right. So now we'll jump to our next topic of the evening, which is what's the most underappreciated female sport you think there is? And Vic,
sport? I thought it was athlete.
No.
Oh, female sport. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I got it.
You get to go first on this one.
All right. So this was tough. Basketball is pretty popular, softball, blah, 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 blah. I feel, and this was kind of a tie, and there was a tie between women's volleyball and acrobatics and tumbling, or gymnastics, I should. No, acrobatics and tumbling. Because that's not just gymnastics. That's a lot of flips and dips and swirls and twirls and jumping and pain and things I can't do anymore. But I ended up going with women's volleyball. I don't think that people appreciate the time and energy that goes into volleyball. It's not just, let's hit the ball over the net, back and forth, blah, blah, blah. When they hit that ball, I played in high school, and I was okay. I wasn't the greatest, but that ball comes fast and at your face. So you gotta defend yourself. You gotta think quick, and they're not playing on like a grass court or a beach. Well, their beach volleyball is on a beach, but regular volleyball is on a hard basketball court, and they're diving. And I had so many burns on my knees and elbows and chins from diving after balls. It was ridiculous. There's a lot of athleticism that's missed in this sport. These women athletes or athletes in general that play the volleyball, they are in the gym just as much as football, just as much as basketball, just as much as softball, but they don't get the prime time spot on ESPN because it's volleyball. Who cares about volleyball? Well, you should care about volleyball because it's very exciting. I think it's exciting to watch people get hit in the face with volleyballs at 100 miles an hour. That's just me. I'm demented like that sometimes. That's what I enjoy. I watch other people's pain and I enjoy it. Not really, but because I know how it feels. I mean, I got hit in the face a couple times by volleyball, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to focus on schoolwork right now. Okay, thanks. I'm going to drive through. But I don't think it's appreciated as much as it should be. Just basically because I think just because it's volleyball, they don't consider it a real sport. But I mean, they're more of an athlete than basketball because there's a lot more physicality, a lot more injuries that can happen, and there's a lot of strength. I mean, when they hit them balls, they're not hitting them like, oh, here's a set. Let me set the ball for you. Let me slam the ball. No, it's painful. Take a volleyball to the face and tell me that you don't justify my argument. Done.
Done. J-Mac, you get to go next.
Well, I'm with Tim Fielder on this one. It's soccer. I got to agree because, like he pointed out, men get all the TV time. You got the MLS that's on TV. You always got the men's national team that's on TV, and the women won the World Cup. Did you even hear about that before? Before you're someone who actually found it somewhere on the internet on a streaming device would have told you that. Think about women's soccer and how much it's been. What have we heard about? We heard about Mia Hamm, not because of what she did on the soccer field, but because she was dating Nomar Garciaparra from Major League Baseball. That's what we heard about her. And then Brandy Chastain, I believe was her name. And when she dove down after scoring a goal and ripped her shirt off, we heard about her ripping her shirt off. They even made fun of it on the ESPYs and said, I didn't recognize you with your shirt on. Like, think about that. That's what they remember you for, not for winning the World Cup. The women's soccer and soccer, you have to run constantly up and down. Like, there's no stopping in soccer. Soccer is so underappreciated overall as a sport, but more on the women's side. The women's soccer should be way more. And I bet that the women's soccer team, don't tell nobody I said this, Vic, but I bet the women's national team could beat the men's national team because the men's national team is not very good.
100%, yeah.
And so,
I stopped playing soccer in like third grade because there's just too much work.
Too much running. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I never wanted to play soccer because I'm like, I don't want to run that much. So
I'm good.
It's the women need more time with soccer. Like, we need a professional women's soccer league. I'm sure there is one. So I apologize that I don't know what it is. I'm sure there is. But we need to get the women's soccer out there more because they are just as good, if not better, than the men when it comes to women's soccer.
That's interesting when you look at the different types of female sports that they have out there, and just in general, you don't hear enough about them. Just in general, especially when you look at the NBA versus the WNBA. When you talk about basketball, everyone's like, "Oh, NBA." But the WNBA for so long has been struggling with ratings and financially because nobody watches the WNBA enough. Nobody gives them credit for
it's not
it's
not on TV enough.
Yeah, you can't really find it, and that is because the ratings and stuff are so bad because nobody for some reason wants to watch it.
Their games are like 1:00 in the afternoon when people are working.
Yeah,
it's
totally
ridiculous.
But it's still very underappreciated.
Oh yeah.
And I think people should definitely appreciate the WNBA more. And then you can even look at, it's kind of interesting how people don't even think about when you look at college. People know about, they talk about college basketball for men and women. They talk about baseball and softball for men and women. But when they talk about hockey, they talk about the men's side. They don't even talk about the female side. That is even something that's barely touched on is women's hockey. That's barely touched upon. J-Mac said soccer. That's one that's barely touched upon. There's so much stuff out there when it comes to female sports that is so underappreciated that you don't see enough of it on TV. You don't get to watch the games like you do on the male side of things.
Well, okay, so let's ask our viewers right now. If you knew before we were about to tell you this, or before Thursday when we had them on our network, if you knew that there was a professional women's football league, tackle football, we're not talking this crap lingerie league and all that. We're talking tackle football league in this country. Go ahead and comment and tell me that you knew that already, and name one team if you did. I guarantee you none of you are going to, because no one talks about it. Women's sports in this country, we talk about all this injustice of race and all this, and I'm not going to get political for a minute. I'm just saying we talk about that, but think about that for a minute. It actually sickens me at the way that we don't see women as athletes as much as we do men. And they are every good. There's women that could dominate me probably in any sport out there, because I'm sorry, there's some sports I'm just not good at.
There's some WNBA players I feel that could take a male NBA team. I think they could beat them.
Yeah.
Put Seattle against the Lakers. See how they do. Because the women are more focused on teamwork. They're more focused on the actual game itself, not like showing off how hard I can dunk or how hard I can break your ankles. They're focused on the game.
Oh, that's a big one in women's sports. Big one in women don't have as much ego. I'm not saying women don't have ego or pride at all, but they don't have as big. It's not about me. It's not how many points can I score. It's, hey, how can we get to 80 to beat this team tonight? How can we do this? How can I get open?
How can I
get open? That is the focus. The focus is just unreal.
But on the NBA side too, a big downfall on that side is those guys flop so freaking much that it's insane. When you look at the NBA, the WNBA, they don't go out there and flop. That's not what they do. They go out and actually
they got knocked down.
They actually play some real straight up hardcore basketball. That's
you're supposed to play it.
That's what they do. And so that's why WNBA is so underappreciated also. It's crazy how far basketball has come on both sides of the spectrums, and the difference it is with how much the players in the NBA flop now, and still nobody still wants to talk about.
They cry.
And nobody still wants to talk about the WNBA. But even J-Mac, like you were saying, with the female football league, there's probably people out there who didn't know that league actually had like 68 teams. There's like 68 pro female football teams.
And it's 11 on 11. It's not 5 on 5. And they play every position.
And they even have what they call a national championship. And if you win it, you get rings, you get a trophy. I mean, it's just like regular NFL. But there's so many people out there that don't know.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing
I know you're laughing at the comment, but there's so many people out there.
Me too, Jim. Me too.
But there's so many people out there who didn't know about it, and that's the sad part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the NBA needs to take a look at themselves and be like, we need to get back to the root of what this league was for. It's about teamwork. It's about playing the game the right way, not bitching and whining that, oh, he traveled. Oh, they fouled me. Oh, they hit my arm.
They travel on every play. What are you talking about?
This Euro step thing, I don't get it. I don't like it. It's just stupid. They flop. LeBron James, I'm sorry. He's a great player, but he is a whiny little baby. He flops. He cries. He complains about things. And he's going to most likely get the call because he's LeBron James. He's the face of the league. Killing me. Just killing me. Just get over yourself. And, and I love that he played a big part in the Atlanta Dream being sold. And I think that's going to, help the WNBA a little bit in that, because, they're now kind of backing the WNBA and showing that, hey, maybe, we need to take a look at these guys. Maybe they are pretty good. And I'd take a Sabrina Ionescu against a Steph Curry any day. I think she could take him. That's just me. But, I mean, it'd be nice to see a WNBA play an NBA team, just as kind of,
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, Vic. do you feel like Kobe's death really took women's basketball a step back? Because
Yes.
I feel personally that if his daughter was going to play in WNBA, there is no doubt she was talented enough to do it.
She was going.
And
UConn
had she
too.
got there, that's when women's basketball would have arrived, because they might have transcended the NBA at that point. Because now you got one of the most recognizable players in NBA history who would have been a coach, an owner. He would have, he would have something to do with that league.
Oh yeah.
And now
he played a huge part in Oregon basketball as well.
Right.
I mean,
and so now what do you got? And that's
it's a huge hole.
That impacted the WNBA maybe more than it impacted the NBA.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know it based on all the little,
Right.
But yeah, he was a huge part in UConn basketball. He was a huge part in Oregon basketball. I mean, he was going to be something. And his daughter, I pray to God she would have gone to Oregon, but I know she would have picked UConn. But I mean, she was just, it's a huge loss, and it impacted women's basketball. It took us back a couple years because he was full on back in it. He was full on in. He was an all in kind of guy, and it's horrible. And somebody needs to step in and fill those shoes. They're huge shoes. They're not going to be filled completely.
Me personally, I'm just, I feel like Shaq's going to be that guy because he's got a daughter that is in 8th grade. I believe she's going into prep next year, into high school, and she's probably good enough to play in the WNBA when she gets there. So I think Shaq will be that next guy, but that's still a few years off. So
maybe Steph Curry might in the future too with his kids.
That's true.
And maybe Kobe has 2 other daughters. Those genes run deep. Maybe they'll step in and fulfill the Kobe legacy that's missing.
All right. Well, speaking of female sports and history and everything else, tonight you get to see for the first time a debut of Vic's her very own topic. And so Vic's topic is, she's going to give you a nice little history lesson, and then she's going to actually give you the win of the week. So Vic, go ahead and take what is your history lesson going to be about today?
Nate, pull her up on the big screen.
Do I get my own theme music or not? No,
I don't have theme music. Sorry.
I'll make my own. All right. So everyone knows I am very anti-baseball, big money contracts. I think they're just stupid and horrible. I don't think anybody's worth $350 million to play freaking baseball when you're 23 years old. That's crazy. So today's history lesson, children. Today, history was made. Well, not history was made. I'm kidding. In 1922, arguably one of the greatest players of all time, Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth. I'd take Babe Ruth over anybody at this point, except for maybe Ronald Acuna Jr., because I'm biased. He signed a 3-year contract. 3 years. 3. 1, 2, 3. With the Yankees for the ungodly amount of $52,000. 3 years, $52,000. Do you guys know what that comes out to yearly? Because I don't. Actually, I do. Sorry. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. That's $17,333 a year. That's almost what minimum wage workers make today at $7.25 an hour. He was making minimum wage, people, to play baseball. And he was the best player ever, arguably, except for Ronald Acuna Jr., because I'm biased. So when you look at these 350 million people, they're greedy, they're horrible, and I don't like them. I don't like them because they make a lot of money, and I don't make that money, but I wish I played baseball. But nobody is worth $350 million. You're going to bankrupt a franchise, you're going to kill a city, you're going to make yourself hated like A-Rod. Everybody hates A-Rod because he made like $250,000 20 years ago. Still hate A-Rod because of it. So that's my history lesson. Don't be greedy. Be Babe Ruth. Play for what you think you need. You don't need $350 million. Nobody's going to spend $350 million unless you're Brewster's Millions and you get double that if you spend it all in a year. I don't know. That's just ridiculous. So that's my history lesson. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to have a little cap and gown next week for graduation.
What is your win of the week or your win of the day?
Well, my win of the week, and it's actually win of the day, and you're going to be really mesmerized by this because I've already mentioned the sport today. Can you guys guess which sport I was talking about?
Volleyball.
Volleyball?
No! Acrobatics and tumbling.
Oh.
The number 2 Oregon Ducks beat the top-ranked Baylor Bears in acrobatics and tumbling today. 2 scores of perfect 10s. If you guys haven't watched acrobatics and tumbling, just take 5 minutes and YouTube it, Google it. I don't care. These girls are crazy talented. They do pyramids. It's basically like cheerleading on steroids, if there was such a thing. They lift each other, they throw each other, they toss each other. It's crazy. And today, Oregon beat Baylor, which is just beautiful because I hate Baylor altogether. And I don't even know why I hate Baylor. I just hate Baylor. But they just watch, it's amazing. They do they bend over backwards. They're like the chick from The Ring that comes out of the TV and bends all weird ways. They do this. They are true athletes. They lift, they throw, they run, they jump. It's crazy good. And you don't get to watch it on TV because they don't have it on TV unless maybe sometimes it's on the Pac-12 network, but your most options are, YouTube and Google it. But I mean, it's a big win for Oregon acrobatics and tumbling because they don't get enough credit. They don't get enough airtime as everybody else, but they're full on athletes too. And it was really nice to just watch that. I mean, I watched it on the Oregon Duck website for a little bit, and they're just amazing. I mean, I wish I could do one of the things that they do. So that's my win of the day, is the Oregon Ducks, number 2, beat the number 1 Baylor in acrobatics and tumbling at Matt Knight Arena today. Done.
I like it.
And every week it won't be Oregon games, but it will either be Oregon or Atlanta. It's going to be one or the other, so just get over yourselves.
I like it. Okay. All right. Well.
No selfies.
No selfies. No
pictures. No autographs. No pictures. No autographs.
All right. Well, now comes to another topic in the show, and this one actually comes to Aces mini game. So it's another Aces mini game, and everybody knows as of late how we've been doing this, and we've been playing a lot of sports movie trivia, and that has seemed to be kind of a big hit on that one. So of course we're gonna bring that one back again because we have J-Mac versus Vic again.
Dun, dun,
so
dun.
What do you know? Again, and these are some things that let's see. I don't remember who was the winner last time from me. Who won last time from me?
It was me.
It was Vic. So Vic, you get the option. Do you go first or do you go second?
I'm gonna. What do they call it in football? I'm gonna pass.
Defer.
I'm gonna defer to the second Korea.
You're gonna defer.
I'm gonna defer.
So J-Mac gets to go first. Okay. So this was a conversation between 2 people in this movie. Okay, between 2 people. I cannot tell you who they were, or I'll completely give it away. So you got to give me the movie and who the conversation was between. All right.
Oh, he's mad at you, J-Mac. You've done something to make him
mad.
This
is how we did it. This is how we did it last time too. Okay, so it starts out with, "Hey, do you want a s'more? Some more what?"
Oh, that was between.
No. Do you want a s'more?
Yeah, how can I have some more of something I haven't had yet? You're killing me, Smalls. So it was between Ham Porter and Scotty Smalls in the treehouse while they were trying to get the ball back from the movie The Sandlot.
Ooh, good one.
You got it. You got it. Okay.
That's a nice one.
So, Nate, that's one for J-Mac. And now...
That's the only one you're getting.
And now it comes to Vic. So, Vic.
Yes.
Let me help. Let me help. I can help. I can help. What can you do? Well, I may not be very tall, but I'm slow.
I know this one already.
And then and then the other person says and large, and the other one's like and a dork.
I know it.
You totally lost me. I'm large and I'm a dork.
Okay, so the person comes in and says, "Let me help. Let me help.
Okay.
I can help. I can help." And then the second person goes, "What can you do?" And then he goes, "Well, I may not be very tall, but I'm slow." And then another person comes in and says, "And large." And then another one says, "And a dork."
And a dork.
So which two am I supposed to be naming?
Can you name what the movie is?
I'm working on it. I'm trying to understand what. Let me help. Let me help. I may not be very tall, but I'm slow.
But I'm slow. And large.
That
And
sounds like
dork.
So you know, so J-Mac sounds like you know.
What's his name? He was on
exactly what this one
Seinfeld.
is.
He was on Seinfeld. Newman.
It's not his
So-
name in the movie.
I know it's not his name in the movie. It's got to be.
But J-Mac, it sounds like you know exactly which movie this
Oh,
is.
yeah. Yeah. I didn't
So
know
he-
when he did the help thing, but after he did
He
the
was in
second
Jurassic
part,
Park. Space Jam movie. Space Jam. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Okay, it's Space Jam.
And the only other guy in the movie was Michael Jordan.
Okay, Michael Jordan, but who was he talking to in this certain situation?
The guy that played Newman. Was like his real name count, or do I have to do like the name that he actually was?
It's
in
got to be
movie?
the name portrayed in the movie.
Oh, what did he call him?
I know it.
It's right there.
Duck. This is large.
Michael. Stan.
Dang it!
Yeah, she got it. She got it. She got it. She got it. It was Michael
Stan
Jordan.
Polak.
Stan.
Woo! That was hard. I had to work through that one a little bit.
This is large.
Wow, she got it. That.
And by
that-
the way, it was Sylvester. Oh, it was Sylvester that's like, and large.
yeah.
And then it's Daffy Duck and a dork.
Yes. Yes. And a dork. Yes. And
Oh my
large.
gosh.
And a
You're
dork.
lucky I had that movie on Vudu and just watched it like a couple of days ago. Otherwise, I'd had no clue.
All right, so now the next one actually comes to J-Mac. And the quote is, it says, "Spoken like a true a-hole."
Well, that could be a lot.
No. It's this one's a very, very famous.
Oh. Does he say a-hole or does he say the A-S-S hole?
No, he actually says the actual word.
Okay. I know what it is.
I'll know it as soon as she says it because I can hear it in my
I
voice.
think I know.
But I can hear it in my head. I don't even have a guess.
All right, Vic, do you have a guess?
So I have to name the movie and the actor or the actor's
Yes.
character?
The movie and the character in the movie.
Well, lucky for me, they're both the same. It's Happy Gilmore.
But who says it?
The guy in Happy Gilmore. The guy who played Apollo Creed. What was his name? Had the wooden hand. Come on.
I know who that is too.
Do I need his real name or his name in the movie?
You need his name in the movie.
That was Chubbs.
You got it.
Okay.
You
Spoken
got
like
it.
a true a-hole. Give me 6 weeks. I'll work with you every day.
All right. So now, Vic, this question comes to you.
Yay.
All right. Hey, driver, drive these. And she lifts her shirt. And then the person says, oh, God, please be 18.
Oh, come on. Come on.
You know, it's funny because there was a commercial with these with this movie in mind. If you're not first, you're last.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure it's Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby,
Okay.
You said it.
and it was Ricky Bobby. Please be 18.
Yeah. And a female fan. Yes, you got it. You got
Do
it.
I,
Vic.
do I need the female fan? Because I have no clue who that was.
No, it was just a female fan. That's all it was.
Yeah, I'm
That's
like,
all
don't-
it was. Was just a
don't
female fan.
Don't throw random plug-in actors in on us because we'll never get it. The lady in the back to the third on the left. I don't know. Her name's Janet. I don't know. We're gonna go with that one.
Like it. All right. So, oh boy.
Have you guys seen that commercial for? I think it's Dodge that has the guy that played his dad and has young Cal and young Ricky Bobby racing the streets. And his dad's like, if you don't remember what I said, if you're not first, you're last.
You're last. Yeah. If you're not first, you're last.
If you're not first, you're last.
Oh, Bobby, I was probably drunk. There, you could be second, third, fourth, fifth.
I mean, you can be second, you can be third, you can be fourth. Hell, you can even be fifth. I was probably high that night, Ricky. All right, so J-Mac, this question comes to you, and the quote is: "Wax on, wax off."
Oh, come
wax
on.
wax off.
What? Sports movie though, right?
Yeah,
It's a sport.
Okay.
it is a sport.
No, it is a sport, but
Yeah.
there was another one I was going with. It was just a movie though. It's not a sports movie. It's Mr. Miyagi from The Karate Kid.
Yeah, you got it.
And they both said it, so he could have gone either way with that. He could have
That's true.
gone with Macho
The other
too.
movie I was thinking of, by the way, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2, The Secret of the Ooze, when he's like, wax on, wax off, wax on, mouth off.
I do like that one. I often
I like that one better. We'll go with that one.
Huh?
We'll give J Mac that one. Secret of the Ooze.
Yep. All right. So,
Boom.
Vic, this
Yes.
one comes to you. Okay, and
Okay.
this is all your strength, all your power, all your love, everything you've got right now.
All your strength, all your power.
all your love, everything you've got right now.
So I need who said it or who he said it to.
This one is who
Or both.
said it.
Who said
No,
it?
just who said it. This one's who said it.
Oh, it's the old guy. What's the old guy's name?
And what movie is it?
It's the one with the Russian. So Mr. T was 3. Rocky 4. That was the one with the Russian, right? Rocky 4.
I must break you.
Yes, I
And it was
with you.
what was the old guy's name? Oh, I didn't like him at first because of his name. Because I hate. Why do I not like him? He said it to Rocky, so I got. Does that count or no? No.
No.
Okay. What was the old guy's name? Duke.
Oh, you got it. Oh man.
Because I hate Duke, so I hated the character for a while.
Oh, all right. J-Mac, this one comes to you. So Vic got that point. It'll be the first one to 5. So all Vic needs is one more, and she's got it. So J-Mac, this one comes to you.
Staying alive. Staying alive.
How is it that the most ultimate prize and the most macho sport ever invented is a piece of jewelry?
Ooh. The ultimate prize of this macho sport ever invented is a piece of jewelry.
What's a piece of jewelry?
I love this movie. I'll tell you, I absolutely love this movie.
Wow, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
What sport has a piece of jewelry?
Well, there's a lot of sports that have a piece of jewelry.
Not as a trophy. I mean, like everybody has like a trophy. But so there's a trophy jewelry, or is a jewelry part of the trophy, like something you get when you win the trophy? No, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Vic, you got anything?
I mean,
Well, I guess if I had to fathom a guess, it would be Jimmy King from Ready to Rumble.
No.
wrestling has belts.
That's jewelry. That's the only thing I thought of for jewelry. So,
Who else has belts? Boxing has belts.
Yeah, but that was not it, actually.
Boxing's not it.
No. The correct answer is...
I'm not done yet.
Oh.
I'm processing. I'm thinking of sports that have jewelry. So wrestling and boxing have belts. That's jewelry, right? That's an accessory. I mean, boxer, I know. Sugar Ray. Roberto Duran. He wouldn't say that. To be somebody arrogant. Somebody very arrogant. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Maybe it's a little Muhammad Ali.
Nope. Okay, so you give up?
I give up.
The movie was actually Draft Day. Because...
yeah. Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
You brought up that Kevin Costner-ish.
It is Draft Day. So who got that last question? Was that J-Mac?
Yeah.
All right. So Vic, this one comes to you.
Okay.
They dump a gallon of Gatorade on somebody's head, and then he goes, "That's a week in the hot box." And then they go, "Who gives a shit?"
God, that sounds like something from The Longest Yard. It's a football movie. Can I hear it one more time?
Yep. All right. So it says they dump a gallon of Gatorade on him, and then he goes, "That's a week in the hot box." They go, "Who gives a crap?"
It sounds something like I've watched on the Longest Yard, the one with Adam Sandler. That sounds like that movie. I'm gonna go with that. Longest Yard, Adam Sandler.
Who says it?
Oh, the Warden. Is that good enough? Or the Warden says it. The guy that plays the Warden.
The Warden. That is close. That's close. It's close.
I don't know the Warden's name.
But who says? Who gives a crap?
That sounds like a Chris Rock kind of thing.
Now he died in the movie before that.
Mm-hmm.
He died before that?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, that's after they win, right? They did do that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good God. Who else was left?
I have the perfect one for J-Mac that I gotta ask him.
I don't know who. I don't know.
Michael Irvin.
Battle.
Michael Irvin. Battle.
Michael Irvin. I don't remember his name in the movie, but
Battle.
Michael Irvin.
Battle.
Yeah. All right. So, J-Mac.
Was that right?
Yeah. But it was Battle. But yeah. All right. But now your question is, keep swinging. Maybe you'll give them a cold.
Keep swinging. Maybe I'll give him a cold.
It's my favorite movie.
Oh. Well, it sounds like
I know it.
keep swinging. Maybe I'll give him a cold. So to me, it sounds like something that would have been said by Lou Brown in Major League.
No. All right, Vic has a chance to cement the victory right here. All right, Vic. Since you said you know it, go ahead and take it away.
The Mighty Ducks, Bombay and Charlie.
Now I remember. Yep, I got it.
You
now.
got it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Keep swinging. Maybe you'll give him a cold.
And
All right,
Julius
so
down. He wasn't there yet.
there's another point for Vic. So Vic has won this one 5-2. Congratulations, Vic.
Do I get some jewelry or or a belt or something like a
Oh,
trophy?
sure. Why not? All right. So
Get a filter that gives me a crown.
So this is the final part of the show to where J-Mac, you get 30 seconds to say whatever it is you need to say.
I got a lot to say. All right, yeah. So we want to talk about the launch of the expansion on the All Sports All Plays Network tomorrow. Talking All Sports All Plays tomorrow. We're going to have some excerpts from all of the podcasts and such that you will be debuting this next week. We have the debut show of 643, the awesomest name in show history, by the way, 643 with Richard tomorrow night. And then we have Between the Ropes. Don't forget that. So stay tuned to all that. It's going to be great things going on. So,
all right, Vic, you got 30 seconds.
Mine is totally unsports related. A lot of people don't know what I've been going through, but I've been going through some chemo. My second time around the sun with the chemo, and this week has been especially hard. And I want to thank all the guys on this network: Adam, J-Mac, Teddy, Freddie, Nate, everybody that's covered for me and helped out, and that's been a part of it. This has been a really rough time for me, and you guys are pretty awesome. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Vic. We couldn't do it without you on the show. You're a part of Sports Minute. You're going to always be a part of Sports Minute.
I'm the humor. Come on.
There you are. All right. So with that being said, I really hope that everybody enjoyed another episode of Sports Minute, and we will definitely be seeing you again on Wednesday for another episode of Sports Minute. But please check out the expansion branch called Talking All Sports All Plays. That starts tomorrow. So please check that out. There's going to be awesome shows coming your way. There's even a show on Monday called Bring It. And then and then we have another show coming on Tuesday that's called Wrestle Shoot. It's with Rob Wilds and Chris Casanova, and you are not going to want to miss that.
By the way, Monday is also Who Am I with Mess Around Dave. His debut on Monday.
Yep. So we actually have some great shows coming for you. So you're going to want to check those out. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic night, and we will see you again. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.
Bye-bye. Bye.
All Sports All Plays. Yeah. All Sports All Plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays. Network. Hard sports all plays. Network. We on top of our game. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays.